We are back to 1.4.10 Reflow, but now we have a dedicated class on that. The 1.4.10 requires that at 320 CSS pixel width, roughly a vertical font held upright, content can be presented without two-dimensional scrolling. So it's written here. And it's a level AA. So you must not need a horizontal scroll bar for the main text column when users need to read it line by line. Vertical scrolling is expected. This is what we have seen in the previous recording. In practice, you use design fluid layouts. So you rely on percentage, you rely on max width. One moment. Two. Oh. Little problem with my slides. Yeah, so you rely on percentage, you rely on other dynamic units. You rely on like rem or viewport, VW or rem, which is a root em, rem versus em. You can read what it is about. It's about the font size of the parent em, but root em is about the root font size of the root HTML tag. So usually it's 16 pixels, but not always. And you can also use auto sometimes. You avoid forcing white tables on or unbreakable strings without overflow handling. Use truncation with accessible full text or alternate layouts. At 400% zoom in desktop browser Reflow rules also apply in understanding guidance. So it's this documentation, and we are referring to here. And users who magnify should not have the pan and then the need to use two axes. So as I said, only one scroll should be needed. So if I open, this is the code if you want to play with this, and this is the example. So I make it like this, okay, and then I will zoom, and I only need to scroll like this. I can make even more, on 400, sorry, it's 400. This is, I need to check what's the pixel, but then on this one moment, let me check if I can do it. 320. Okay, we have, and now I will zoom into 200, for example. I will need to have a mobile, maybe with mobile device is better to show it. Oh. Like this. Yeah, so you have a mobile device, maybe a bit smaller. This is iPhone X, I think it's small one. iPhone 5, yeah, iPhone 5. Yeah, I cannot find a smaller one. So I will do like this. I will just change the tab size. So when we have a very small tab, zoom in, and then you must enable only. Okay, it must be operable only with one vertical scrolling. there should be no need to use another scrolling, which is horizontal in this case. The text should be reflowing. As you can see, when I zoom in, zoom out, it's reflowing. So it's moving from this line, for example. Now this text will move to the next. You see, it's moving. So it's reflowing. That's how we call it. Yeah. There are some exceptions for essential two-dimensional content, for example, for maps, for diagrams, for games, where two-dimensional scrolling is part of the content. So there are some exceptions. 1.3.2. This is still the same class. This is about meaningful. We already talked about meaningful sequence, but we talk about this. It requires that the default presentation order preserves meaning. The DOM and focus order should match the meaning. So like we have seen in the I think it was even previous recording or one recording before. I think it was one recording before. Yes, but we had this. But why I also mention quickly here, because reflow and responsive changes are often playing together. So this 1.2 and 1.4.10 will be often playing together in mobile devices. So by having proper reflow, it's also very natural to achieve meaningful sequence. That's why it should be. I wanted to just slightly mention it here. And then in the next recording we'll talk about the next one.